So today on Chapman on Air, we're sitting down with two people who didn't just move to Naples, they rebuilt their entire life there. Matt and Megan Chionis started in Chicago, founded and grew two consulting companies, and then stepped into one of the most competitive real estate markets in the country. So kudos to you. With a completely new understanding. The traditional way was not serving people. So you guys changed it. In just a few years, they've closed nearly $150 million using proprietary strategies, a process-driven approach, and a level of client advocacy that feels rare in this industry. Beyond business, they're deeply rooted in Naples, raising their son, supporting nonprofits like 𝗖𝗵𝗽𝗍𝗍, and pouring into the community that has become their home. We're talking reinvention, strategy, and what it actually takes to stand out in a saturated market. So let's dive in. Thank you guys for coming today. Thank you. So take me back to the moment you two said, we are leaving Illinois and starting over in Naples. I'm sure it was quite the switch up. What was happening in your life at that time?
You know, we were in downtown, enjoying city life, pre-kid when we say we were cool back then. And so we actually, on our tax bill, of all things, we got a street tax, and it was a tax for the privilege to live on our street.
Oh.
And we kind of look at this going, this does not make sense. And then we were already looking to have an exit from our company, and we started talking. We said, why are we here with taxes and snow, talk about having a family? And so we said, this Southwest Florida place is pretty nice. Let's go there.
It is pretty.
It is pretty nice.
It is. It's snow for sand, white, fluffy sand. Gotta love it.
Yes.
So before real estate, you guys built those two companies. How did that chapter in your life shape the way you approach business today?
I think just that we built those businesses from scratch and poured everything we had into it. And we're really proud of that. And so when we came to Naples and we got licensed, we realized that not many realtors treat real estate like a business. And I think that that makes a big difference when it changes the way you look at it. It changes your day-to-day activities. It changes your planning. It changes all of these different things. So I think because we had prior not just business experience, but business starting experience, that kind of led us to shape our business, our real estate in a much more structured way, and probably lent to us being able to grow it, I think, a little bit more quickly than normally, especially in such a saturated market.
Yeah, I think, what do we say? We approached real estate not like a realtor, but like a consultant.
Yeah.
And that was where all the concierge services came in. And so we said, let's approach this differently and elevate the experience.
Yeah. So your other companies definitely helped with the success of this one, for sure. So when you guys were moving to Naples, did you know you were going to get into real estate? Was that the plan all along?
About 99.9%. We did. We got licensed pretty quickly after we landed in Naples. We actually moved a week before 𝗖𝗵𝗽𝗍𝗍, so we had quite the welcome to the area. So once we got back and resettled, we got licensed. We started our classes and everything quite quickly. So no time to waste.
No time to waste. Yeah.
So you come to Naples. How soon after you get your guys involved in the real estate game do you realize the system needs to change? We need to do something different here.
It was actually before we got here when we were talking to people about moving to Naples and building a real estate brand. They said, well, at that time, there was 6,000 agents. Now there's over 8,000. They said, don't do real estate here. How are you going to stand out? And we're very competitive. And we just said, we'll just outwork everybody.
Yeah.
And so that was when we knew, let's elevate the experience. And then when being here and being in the industry, then we got to see from the inside of here are ways that things could get better.
Yeah, so. You literally said, watch me, right? I think one of the best things in the world is being underestimated because it gives you that empowerment to go even further.
A little extra.
Yeah, if that's your personality, it has to already be in you to view it that way. But okay, so you guys talked about we shared a little bit about your proprietary strategies and process-driven systems. So walk me through what that actually looks like for a client.
So on the buyer side, we take painstaking lengths to make sure they land in the right community. I would say 90% of our new buyer intake really has to do with their lifestyle. People are more than a bedroom bathroom count.
Yes.
And so what is their lifestyle? And so many people buy in the wrong places. They buy where they vacationed versus what really truly aligns with their lifestyle. So 90% of our conversation is, let's find your lifestyle. What we can do then with that system is distill the over 2,000 neighborhoods in this area. We can distill that down to typically 5 to 7 and create them a curated experience from there, which saves them time, offsets the risk of being in the wrong location, wrong neighborhood. And so that's on the buying side. Selling side, really the editorial and cinematic experience.
Yeah, so we take more of a storytelling approach to a property. I think the photographs and like a 3D walkthrough, like those are still nice. They need to be well done. They're well received by a potential buyer. But I think that there's just so much more that goes into selling a property, especially in today's market. And so we really get to know the seller. We ask questions, if they designed the space or decorated the space. What was your thought process? Like, where's your favorite place to have a cup of coffee in the morning? What do you love most about this room? And we get to know it from that perspective, because when we know kind of what their emotion and lifestyle and, just general energy was in the space, then it kind of helps us to shape that story and engage the emotion in a potential buyer. So I love the creativity of it. It's fun. It definitely takes a lot more time. And sometimes Matt rolls his eyes when I say, I have an idea. But I just feel like it adds so much to the listing. And I also think that the sellers appreciate, like, wow, I've never seen somebody take such a emotional approach. Matt and I both have our masters in psychology, so that definitely plays into it.
All right.
When you buy a property, you're spending a lot of money, especially the price points here. You make these decisions on emotion. I don't care what people say. Like, yes, they're smart and business savvy and all these different things, and they budget and all that. But at the end of the day, it's an emotional purchase. And so to be able to tap into that and to kind of like snag that, I feel like it's just a really unique and successful, I would say, approach.
For us, it's not selling a home or property. It's someone's next chapter. And so that excites us.
Yeah. Selling a property, I'm that riveting. But when we can really like let's take it almost comes like it has the life of its own almost. And it makes our job more fun. It gets the seller kind of in part of it, which is nice. So if it is like an emotional time for them in leaving this property and going to another, I kind of not distracts, but it just makes them feel a little bit more part of the process.
Yeah. I love that. Love it all. I'm just soaking this all in. And that actually took from my next question, which was what's one part of your process that other realtors overlook? And I think that is so important. It absolutely is an emotional purchase and decision.
Sure.
It's your life. Really is. Yeah. Where you're putting down your roots or expanding, like you said, to your next chapter. So you mentioned when you guys came here, it was about 6,000 realtors in Naples. Now there's over 8,000. So what advice would you give if you were to start over? So we have other realtors who will be watching this, or aspiring realtors. Not everybody makes it. There's a reason why, right? So if you were to start from scratch today, is there anything you would do different or do more of, less of? Let's speak to that.
Oh, if I were to start over. I think that one of the biggest things is you can't be excellent in everything. You can't know everything about every community. Like Beth said, there's over 2,000 communities just in Naples, and they all have their intricacies and their nuances and all of these different things. You can't know all of those. You can learn things, but you really need to have that niche of like, this is what I am passionate about selling. This is what I'm really knowledgeable in. Is it golf? Is it what is it? And really hone in on that, because I feel like that kind of builds your core. And then the other things that you buy and sell are just kind of ancillary, but you have to have that thing that you're known for. Like, we're known for our concierge services, and we kind of took that from day one almost as we started to create them. They've expanded into this amazing, offering, but that made us unique. That made us stand out. So then when a seller was saying, I'm interviewing 15 people, what makes you unique? You have something besides, I take good pictures, or I just really want to sell this house. So I would say find that thing that you're passionate about and figure out a way to really hone in on that. And don't get distracted by all of the tools and platforms and all of that stuff, because it's a rabbit hole that you don't need. Like we had the ugliest marketing. We kept them just out of nostalgia. They were horrendous. We didn't really do great at social media. Like we didn't, but that wasn't our focus. Our focus was the people and building those relationships. And that's what we poured into. And that's what led to success. So just don't get distracted.
Yeah.
Riches are in the niches.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah, I find that common thread with anyone successful I speak to. They say the same thing. We had Brian on the last podcast, and he mentioned, just focus on what you're good. Get so good at that. And I think when it comes to business, one of the best pieces of advice that I have heard is get so obsessed with your potential client's problem. Obsess over that. Get so good at that problem, solving that problem, and that alone, you will rise above all of your competition because you
can offer a solution.
That was where the concierge, our entire menu of concierge services came in. It was, I can't take credit for the idea or anything. It was, you led the charge, which I give you all the credit.
Is that on camera?
I'm sorry. Can we roll that one back?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. I was daydreaming.
Yeah. Oh, it was and so, no, it was really just sitting in open houses and listening to the trepidations around a buyer, what would preclude them from taking action. And we just listened. We're like, okay, well, you're concerned about this. Let's add this to our menu. Renovation concierge, new construction concierge, test drive the new Bentley before it comes out. We can get it to your driveway before, for a test drive. And so we just listened to people. And that was it. Listening, obsess over the solution.
Yes. I love that.
And I think, and back to the question that you just asked me, with that, like, we added these services and we grew it and everything like that. But like at our core, like we just had to make sure like whatever we're doing, like we're being excellent in it. And with agents, there are really fantastic agents and their price point is $500,000. And that's fantastic. They're really good at it. And they excel and they steward that well. And so I would say with us, like we didn't want to just be like, grabbing services and like we made sure that it was excellent and that it was, helpful, useful, duplicatable, different things.
Yeah. And then the right client recognizes you. Like they know who they belong to, right? They know which realtor they belong to because they know that you're going to solve that problem that is specific to them and their needs. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Let's talk a little bit about the Naples market. So what's the biggest misconception people have right now about buying in Naples?
What do you think the biggest misconception is?
Do you want my sassy answer?
Yes, I love sassy. Bring the sassy. Let's go.
The amount of people that think the market is crashing is astounding.
Okay.
I feel like I hear it multiple times a day. The market's crashing. It's bottoming out. And I don't know what market they're talking about. We're definitely not, rose-colored glasses, but it's quite astounding the amount of people where it's just a lot of doom and gloom.
Right.
But if you sit and you look at like the numbers and you look at the market over time, you see it's actually doing quite well.
Yeah.
We had that chaotic blip of the chaotic buying in COVID where everything was selling for whatever you asked for, get it off for within 5 minutes. I think that people are still living in that fast pace and it's not happening anymore. And since it's not happening anymore, it means that it's a bad thing when it's just, that's normal. It's normal for a property to be on the market for a few months, maybe a little bit longer. So that is mine.
Yeah.
But then we've sold 3 off market in the last month.
Yeah.
So didn't even get a chance to bring it to market. Someone came along, cash, done, buy it.
Yeah.
And so
mindset has a lot to do with that as a realtor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if we listen to the doom and gloom, I probably would say, wow, let's go. Let's get a new job.
we live in the
open a restaurant or something.
Exactly. Well, then someone
started an insurance.
Well, and someone
I know a guy.
Then someone would say, well, all the restaurants are closed. There's the negativity everywhere. Because we work with so many investors as well, we have to live in the data. And so when we look at the data, we just say facts are facts and numbers are numbers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And actually, when there is some turmoil in the market, that's the time that most successful entrepreneurs really make it because they're not focusing on the doom and gloom. They're looking for the opportunity in that moment. So even if there was turmoil or there was whatever you said, the market bottoming out, that could be opportunity, but that comes down to mindset.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. There's so many people, particularly agents, that took their foot off the gas pedal and, just kind of stopped growing their business. And, the market had slowed since COVID and you had to kind of recalibrate. But, we looked at each other and said, this is now the time to lean in and to continue spending money on marketing, and maybe spend more money on marketing. And this is the time where we can take a lion's share, because there were a lot of people that were just saying, it's done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, same thing, right? Insurance. How many misconceptions there are, and we hear them too, of no one in Florida can get an insurance policy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild to hear stuff like that and know that that's
we need
not
to do a
the
myth busting.
We should do a myth
we go.
busting. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have our insurance reset campaign that's getting a lot of attention, because for that very reason, there's a lot of misconceptions. And right now is actually the time. Hit reset on your insurance. Like there's rates have actually dropped quite a bit. We have new carriers to the market. We are blessed here at Chapman Insurance Group. We have access to more carriers than any other insurance agency in Florida. Yeah. In Florida. So yeah, a lot of misconceptions, but right now is actually a time, even if you're not ready to renew, you might need to make the switch, because you can save a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
People change their cell phone provider to save $20 a month, but then they won't make a quick phone call to see if they can save $400 a month. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we got to give Ben Miller a call then.
Give Ben Miller a call. We're going to jump into that actually. So talking about some relationships, you mentioned Ben Miller. So talk about that. Talk about why is it important to have a partner in the insurance space that you can trust for your clients?
Yeah, when it comes to deal flow and deal strategy, it's not always about price, it's about risk. And so having Ben literally on speed dial, big shout out to Ben Miller. He's amazing. We met actually through church and men's Bible study, and he's just fantastic. And so he's saved many, many times for us. It's not about saving a deal, right? It's about the customer experience and the client experience, and make sure they have all the information they need and they have just everything. And that's why insurance, obviously being in South Florida, that is a central component to the entire decision. And so we have had so many misconceptions. And I mean, one of our listings in the Moorings, it was a record-breaking sale, was pending, and the guy's insurance provider came along and said, well, it's going to be, I don't know if I can talk specific numbers. It was going to be something insane. And he was like, well, I'm going to back out of this. I was like, that number does not look right. And so I contacted Ben. Ben came back and it was 50%, if not more, less.
It was more than 50% less.
Wow.
And that would have lost us the deal.
Yeah.
And the seller,
their dream
sale.
home. Yeah. The seller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but you couldn't blame them. That was a big number. And even I was like, wow, that seems aggressive. And
Same thing last week.
Yeah.
You reach out to Ben. We had a buyer for property, and he going through the property, and it's stunning new construction, boat slip, everything. And he was looking at it and he goes, well, I talked to my insurance provider and said, boy, it was a lot of money. It was over $1,000 a month. And I went, something's not quite right with that number.
Lot, yeah.
I said, where's your provider? He's like, oh, he's in Florida. I'm like, but does he understand this market? And so we reached out to Ben, and that number was substantially less. And now this is a doctor, and he goes, okay, let's buy this property.
Awesome.
But what makes us happy is now that buyer has just a great relationship now with Ben, and Ben can handle them fantastically, and just everything works out for people. So I think we're all just in it together to take care of people.
Yep.
That's the beautiful thing.
That's the key.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. And then there's that beauty of us being hyper local. So we have offices and from Port Charlotte to Naples. And the people who live there or who work there live there. They understand the market. It's impacted them, right? So, and then having access to more carriers, because sometimes another insurance agent, they may have tried. They may have tried their hardest. They just didn't have access to what we have access to. So, and then caring about people, because you can strip down a policy, right? And get somebody into a home. But what that does, not just that cannot feel good as an agent or a producer to get them into something. You made a sale or a deal, you close a deal.
Never goes well.
But it doesn't go well. And then what does that have? What does that do to the realtor who referred them over when it's time to make a claim and they realize nothing is covered? Nothing. So it feels good up front, but then continuity, right? For a client referring someone to you, because they bulk that together. That's part of their whole experience. So if you place them with someone who is going to drop the ball in the most important time, right?
It blows back on us.
It blows back on you. That's a lost referral. That's lost 20 referrals possibly. So,
and the fact that we use Chapman personally, and my parent, referred my parent, some of our closest friends, the fact that they use them, and when we can look someone in the eye, a client, and say, look, we use this company personally. Ben's responsiveness is unbelievable.
Yes.
And so we can look someone in the eye and say, we trust this company, we use them personally. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
It's really this episode is dedicated to Ben Miller.
I love that. Big shout out to Ben.
We all love
Big shout out
Ben.
to
He's
Ben
such a
Miller.
great guy. We have such a amazing team. We got a lot of Bens, but he's your Chapman, right? So he's your Chapman. Your Chapman is Ben Miller.
Yes.
Love that. And I love that you can have that personal relationship with someone who you can call at any moment to save a deal.
Yeah.
So important in this game, for sure. So you guys work together, you parent together, and you serve the community together. So what have you learned about partnership through all of this?
I will let you answer that one.
So Matt and I have been working together since almost immediately after we started dating. So over 16 years at this point. And that has been through so many different phases of life. Here, I think that we're able to work so well together because we're quite opposite from one another. So I feel like we kind of like ebb and flow organically. You know, he loves to work from home. I cannot work from home for more than 5 minutes before I'm like, I gotta go to a coffee shop. I gotta go somewhere and get some stuff done. But we're able to just, you know, if there's a client that resonates more with me versus him or vice versa, we're just able to kind of like pick up where the other, you know, might not have like the best, you know, it might just not be their cup of tea. So that's been nice. Obviously, you know, we are business partners, we're parents, like you said. We like each other.
You're pretty cool.
Funny.
Yeah, you're funny. Yeah, there you go. But, you know, and like we have, I mean, when it comes to different personality types that we work with too, I am very like, let's talk through this. Let's work through this together. Megan is bad cop. And that's just your personality. It's,
Buckle up, get up, stop crying.
Yes.
yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm similar to that.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's that balance.
It is, you know, it some people are, you know, we have a client right now. One of them is a little bit more emotional and the other one is a little bit more, you know, just firm and decisive. And so we're able to, you know, acknowledge both personalities and serve both personalities well. So I just appreciate that kind of balance that we're able to achieve.
Yeah.
So anything new on the horizon for you guys or anything in the future? Like what is the plans? Are you looking to expand, grow your team? Like give us some of that.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can take it.
Oh, thank you. We just brought on 2 new teammates, hiring 2 more staff members as well. So growing quite a bit, very thankful, very blessed for that.
Yeah.
That's really, we're just focused on growing and then empowering the entire team to serve people, enhancing the concierge experiences as well with our lifestyle events. So our clients get access to exclusive experiences. We have something coming up with a yacht company and Porsche Naples. And so they can drive an exotic Porsche and then they're going to be on a yacht for sunset cruise. We have a happy hour on the water, but our clients get invited to these things. So continue to expand the concierge services. Growth, we are growing like crazy, elevating the price point, but making sure each geographic area of South Florida in each price point can be served with the level of excellence that we want it to be.
Yeah. How many people do you have on your team right now?
So we have 5, 6 plus us.
Yeah.
Let me say Parker too. He's our son.
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really been the focus. And then with the market shift, niching down again, just like we preach, we practice it. And so those neighborhoods that we say, this is what we want. We're going to dominate this area. And I loved your phrase, obsess. That's such a great word.
Yeah.
And so obsess over it.
Yeah. Love that. Well, I feel like a lot of people who find success, it's not really by accident. Like you said, you obsess over things, you elevate experiences, but also I think the routines that people have also play into that. So let us come into your world a little bit. I want to hear about your routine. If there's something in the morning that gets you going, or maybe it's not in the morning, maybe it's in the afternoon or evening, give us a little inside scoop there.
Oh, what does it look like for us?
With a 3-year-old, little chaos.
I know that life.
Neither of us are morning people, or we're morning people, but obviously when you have a little one, you're forced to, and also you need to get up at a decent time to have a successful day. So we wake up. I usually my kind of like high productivity is in the morning. And the house is quiet for a while, and so I'll get some stuff done. Coffee, absolutely coffee first thing in the morning.
Yes.
It's made before I get out of bed. So yeah, I try to get a little bit of stuff done and just get ahead of the day. You know, we're really intentional about mapping out our day so that we're productive, but we're, a little bit balanced. And then I go wake Parker up, and he's off and running till
Either school or nanny comes up.
school or nanny. Yep. So I have breakfast with him every single day. Unless something has to be really important to take me away from breakfast with Parker, because it's a small moment of time.
Yeah.
He loves to help we make smoothies every morning. He loves to help make it. So it's like our time. Matt and I are extraordinarily busy, and there are so many times where we're working long hours and we might not get home until he's already asleep. So that's kind of like my protected time as we try to achieve balance. And then from there, it's usually out the door. And every day looks different, and every day changes in a moment. And so it's a lot of eating in the car, phone calls, emails, different things like that. But we make it happen.
Yeah. It's always going to be sacrifices. Yeah.
Always sacrifices, but we've been, as we've gotten busier and as we've grown, when we launched the brokerage and as we've been growing and scaling, I feel like we're becoming more protective of our time and more balanced, because at the end of the day, your health and your family and things like that, that's all you have. And so we've just been trying to be really careful about it. And even our team of just making sure that they maintain balance, even though balance isn't a thing, it ebbs and flows, but maintaining some sort of balance so that at the end of the day, you're saying, I allocated my time.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Being founders too, founding Serhant. Most people know our CEO, Ryan Serhant, has $1 million listing on Bravo, owning Manhattan on Netflix, and so
season 2 is coming out December 5th.
Yeah,
very excited for that. Yeah,
but yeah, so that added a whole host of other kind of roles and responsibilities for us, and so we've just been.
They're
going.
Yeah.
But I love that you're savoring. You said you protect that time in the morning with your son. So important. That quote of "Don't get so busy building a life or building a living that you forget to build a life." Right. So I think that's really, really important to hold on to that, because the years just keep going. Yeah.
And I appreciate a lot of our clients. Are they're in a later point in life where they have raised kids and maybe even grandkids at this point, and so they've been really valuable to us because we build such relationships with our clients that they've been very like, hey, don't forget, pause and breathe and take time, and everybody says time goes so fast, but they gently remind us, which I'm very thankful for.
Love that.
Is that fun?
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap up, but before we do, we're going to do a rapid fire with you guys. And I know you didn't have these questions before. You ready?
Are you nervous?
On the edge of my seat.
Nothing too scary, I promise. One thing every buyer should stop doing immediately.
Oh gosh. Making a lowball offer.
Okay.
Terrible idea.
Okay.
It will turn you off and you won't get any responses, and you'll just kind of be in the same position for a really long time.
Okay. Good answer.
Good one.
Yeah. One thing every seller should start doing. Calling you guys, right?
Yes. Put my number at the bottom.
Yeah. Every seller?
Every seller needs to understand the true market value of their home. You always overprice things and overvalue things, and it is our job to tell you what the market values your home at, and then we can go ebb and flow from there. But you just have to be accepting, open.
Market's it's elementary right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. Describe Naples real estate in one word.
Why do I answer?
You're doing
Naples real estate in one word. It's wild. We were interviewing a new assistant, and they weren't super familiar with Naples. And I told him, you can buy a property for $400,000, and then a property just closed for $225 million. That span is wild. There's so much and there's so much in between, and it's just it's a quiet pace. The Naples lifestyle, a quiet pace, but the real estate market is kind of it's wild, right?
It's like
Wild.
Yeah.
I like it. That was a good word. I wasn't expecting that word.
Express.
And how long have you been in Naples?
2017.
2017.
Okay. All right. That wasn't one of the questions. This is the next question. Give me your favorite, maybe lesser known spot in Naples. It could be a restaurant. It could be a boutique, a bookstore, whatever.
What's your favorite lesser known spot?
My favorite lesser known spot. We're huge fans of Lola 41.
Okay.
Sundays they have BOGO sushi. Small plate,
right.
and it's amazing. So we love there. It's downtown, but it's kind of off the beaten path.
Okay.
So we can kind of just tuck away in there. What's your favorite?
There's so many hidden gems. Like Brooklyn Dough with the Hole is like that's the best.
We go there,
yeah.
bagels, and then we go have breakfast on the beach.
Yeah.
Yes.
La Trova, which is a new Cuban steakhouse.
Okay.
In the
heard
Design
of that
District.
one. Yeah.
It was Bodega Olé, which is our favorite
Okay.
place to get paella, and then they closed. And so La Trova that was one of the best steaks I've had in a long time. So.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I'm adding some stuff to my list. And you mentioned having breakfast on the beach. One of the things that makes me the saddest is when I hear people say, who live here, oh, I've been to the beach in years. I know. Like I go 5 times a week. So I love hearing.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
To do that more. 'Cause
Yeah.
we find ourselves saying,
Did you know there's a beach here? Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it's even if it's 10 minutes, I think that's the secret. I'm gonna give you guys a secret to life, right?
I love it.
Especially with kids. I have 5.
Okay.
So the biggest thing for me, and the reason why I can get to the beach so often, is that I don't overthink it. I don't pack beach things. Like we go how we go.
Yeah.
It's like if we have like an hour window, let's just run over to the beach and walk really quick and talk for a few minutes. Just take your shoes off. Nobody's going to steal your shoes.
Right.
Everybody thinks their shoes are going to get stolen. Your shoes never get stolen.
nobody wants your beach.
Nobody wants that. Just throw them over there. Go for a walk, come back, and a bottle of water. That's it. You eat before or you eat after.
Yeah.
Don't make it too difficult.
Love it.
And enjoy it.
Love
We
it.
live in such a beautiful,
good
beautiful place. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here, letting us into your world and into your minds, the success that you have had. I hope that, I'm sure many people can find that encouraging, whether they're in the real estate game or in a different industry altogether. So appreciate you guys, and look forward to having you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
See